There are other different types of dementia, and depending upon where the difficulties lie, that in the illness determines the course of treatment.
Yes, you can. All you have to do is want to do it.
Yes.
Want to be it.
Can you set your mind to it? And this is who you are, and
the grown men. We have the youth that we need to mentor, and we need to inspire, and we need to motivate. But I know, as a recent conversation between you and I, that you're also in the business of motivating grown men. Through that, I'm supposed to see God in it at every turn. So me going to the Sea of Galilee was to remind me of that, to refresh myself of that. It is all under control, that He does have it. It's just as clear as that fresh water that I saw.
You're Our Unity, hosted by LeShawn Walker, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. EST.
Welcome, everyone, to You're Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to have faith, because it is with that faith, if you truly believe, that God will work all things out for your good. I am your host, LeShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you into my temporary but beautiful new set. Also, please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. You know, I've been celebrating for like the past 3 weeks, and my birthday was just Saturday the 21st, and I did not stop celebrating. It was truly amazing. I hung out with my family, and I forgot to show you guys some more pictures. So I just wanted to let you know that I stopped and smelled the flowers this whole 3 weeks of January. I have taken every opportunity to enjoy every moment and to be proud of the little things that I'm doing in my life. So I celebrated with my family this weekend, and last weekend, you know, I was with my girls, and the fun and the party will continue. I have some wonderful things going on with Your Our Unity, and I also have some wonderful people that I want to continue to share with you guys. So I don't want to, you know, talk too much about what's been going on in the past week. I want to delve right into the conversation. So as you know, the end of last year, I was sharing with you guys that I was going through a lot. There was some things happening in my life, some tribulations and trials that I don't think I was prepared for. And though I'm a very spiritual person and deeply, you know, rooted in the Word of God, and I know that He will handle all things, I still was stuck in the sadness and the depression and the frustration of what was going on. And I started to doubt my faith. And I actually started questioning what faith actually meant to me. And I started having conversations with family and friends and a few of my mentors, and I kind of wanted to dig a little deeper into what faith actually is, because I'm sure a lot of people out there question it, and I'm sure also have questions about it. So I wanted to discuss that today with 3 amazing people in my life, and 2 of them you've actually met before, and the third one, Mr. Neddy Smith, you're going to meet today. So let's just get right to it. I want to introduce you to first my purpose panel. And the purpose panel basically is just to have candid discussions with diverse voices to just share their common goals. I want us to talk about real life issues and share what's on our heart, and hopefully we can inspire others. That is the mission, and that is the goal. So this first episode of the purpose panel, I want to introduce you to my friend, my beautiful sister, Reverend Casey Jones. And the title of this show is Faith Impact. Reverend Kymberley Clemons-Jones, affectionately known as Reverend KC, is a Connecticut native, preacher, prophetic activist, author, and coach. She weaves her passions for ministry, coaching, and advocacy to help women and children reach their highest potential and assist them to align with spirit and their true selves. Reverend Casey enjoys using the tools she has learned over many years of advocating for women and children, such as emotional freedom techniques, EFT, certified general practitioner, and Reiki first and second degree. Now, known as a creator, developer, and builder, Reverend Casey served as a pastor of Valley Stream Presbyterian Church for 14 years. She is a soul care coach for Restored Life and founder of the nonprofit organization Community Healing and Caring Center Incorporated, which houses the Wanted Project, a youth mentoring program for boys and girls of color. The Wanted Project is also located in Ghana, West Africa, in the Senior Correctional Facility for Juveniles. She's also an author. She's currently a candidate for a Doctor of Ministry degree in prophetic activism and is sitting to defend her work in 2 days. Her project is encouraging Black women to embrace their legacy of prophetic activism through sharing faith stories. And we also have Mike Lyon. My friend Mike is the founder of Modern Peace Ministries, which seeks to save the lost, equip the saints, and renew the culture. He has created studies on topics such as the importance of the Judean wilderness in biblical stories, as well as the history of the separation of Jewish and Christian faiths in the time of Jesus. He is a graduate of Faith Bible Institute in Monroe, Louisiana, and has a passion for teaching and learning from others. Mike has a love for getting to know people from diverse backgrounds and cultures. His mission is to spread kindness and building communities of peacemakers. And we also have the talented Mr. Neddy Smith. He is an author, poet, educator, professional musician, and CEO at Ned Gen International. He was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica, West Indies. Neddy is a composer, a music producer, songwriter, bassist, and band leader. He has led and directed various music groups and is a music ministry. Presently, he's pursuing another of his long life dreams as a published author and poet. He's traveled extensively as a recording artist, performing his craft, and as a corporate training instructor, conducting seminars in broadcast graphics applications. He has worked extensively with some of the world's best musicians, and currently, Neddy conducts virtual and in-person music classes, storytelling, and poetry performance sessions for the physically challenged at the STAR organization. He also performs at festivals, clubs, and galas. And Neddy's primary goal is to bring a new generation of authors, poets, composers, songwriters, and music lovers to the attention of indie creatives, linking them through music, storytelling, and poetry, while appreciating and experiencing various genres of art through words, music, and expressions. I would like to welcome my wonderful guest, Neddy. How are you? Mike and Reverend Casey, welcome to Your Unity.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you all had a great day. I know that you're busy, as we all are. It's the beginning of the year, and I know you just hit the ground running with all your amazing projects. But real quick, how was your day? You had a great day?
Great day.
Excellent, excellent. So, as I mentioned, I'm so grateful that you guys, came on the show today. As I mentioned earlier, dealing with, faith issues and questioning it and having just all of these things going on in my life at one time. I was struggling for a little while, and I reached out to a few people, and I just thought it would be a great conversation to have on Your Unity, especially with people who sort of can relate to it and who have like a spiritual understanding of what faith is. So I want to dig right into the subject, and we know it's faith impact. Real quick, we know that faith is from the Bible, from the definition is defined as belief with strong conviction, firm belief in something for which there may be no tangible proof, complete trust, confidence, reliance, or devotion. Faith is the opposite of doubt. So That's what I've been doing lately. A lot of doubting. And I'm trying to talk myself off that ledge and to avoid going down the rabbit hole. So real quick, we know what the definition of the word faith is in the dictionary. Reverend Casey, from your perspective, can you please tell us what to you does faith mean?
For me, faith is a verb, right? So it is an action. What we do every day when we have faith is faithing. We are actively engaging in our relationship with the divine. And we are, it's a journey. And I think that's where people, they think they receive Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior or God, and that the faith is just going to appear and it's going to stick around. Right. But it's really an active journey. It's a challenge for the rest of our lives, because everything is not going to go our way. And so as we faith, we're learning, we're growing, and we're continuing to call on God as that person or that deity that just, keeps us on the straight and narrow and going towards the goals that God would have us to go to.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I love that you said that it is a challenge, because that's exactly what I've been experiencing. And you're right. I did go through life thinking, growing up in Jehovah's Witness church and, various other denominations, that you believe in God, you automatically have faith. It was just the exercising of that faith I did not know how to do. I thought, like you said, it's a verb. It's just a word. And I was using it in that context, but not actually using it in its action. So what do you think about that, Mike? I mean, it is a challenge. I mean, how do you feel and what do you think about faith and what it is?
Interestingly, the way I look at it is kind of a combination between what you said and what Reverend KC said. Without having looked it up in the dictionary, I kind of figured it's a belief in or a trust in something. And yeah, it drives you to action. If you truly believe something, you will act on it. If you I don't know, kind of have a false belief, you might say you believe in something, but you will not be changed. And you and I have had this analogy. We talked about this, but for the benefit of the audience, okay, if I tell you guys right now, hey, there's a tornado coming, there's really bad weather, and it's about to strike this building. If you say, oh, okay, I believe that there's a tornado coming, and then you continue to watch the news and you just lay back on your couch, do you really believe that there's a tornado coming? Right. If you truly believe that there is a tornado coming to hit this building, you will get up right now and you will leave, Right. So when we have faith in God, and it's interesting, LeShawn, I've also had these struggles in starting to understand through my local church that faith drives you to action. It's something I've been growing in recently as well.
Right. Yeah, no, I like that. When you mentioned that analogy about the person sitting in the house, they hear about the tornado and they don't move. That person that's sitting in that house is probably having faith that God is going to save. And I think we had that conversation as well. God is not going to hit the house. I'm not going to be affected by this storm. There are some people with that type of faith as well. And again, I would move to action, meaning I would take the heed, but I would still move to do something to make sure that I was safe. But there are people that would probably say, yeah, I heard about it. God got me. I'm going to be okay. And my house is not going to be affected. But yeah, no, it is. It's definitely, it's a challenge, but you do have to have like a true belief in it and you have to move in it. What do you think about that, Neddy? I mean, again, we've had the same discussion, actually. So what do you think faith is?
The Reverend said it well. It's action. Because if I look at it from the point of view of my heart, I have faith that I will get up in the morning, my heart is beating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the physical component that I know.
Yeah.
But I have faith that the action that's taking place within is going to manifest itself in the morning. So I don't worry about tomorrow, yet I know it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, there is a simple idea about hearing. When we hear, it's like hearing the music of nature, the musicality of life beats on, the musicality of the earth beats on. And so if we look at the musicality, and I'm talking musicality because I'm a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my relationship. That's how God and I relate, like David in the wilderness.
Yes.
He was relating through his musicality.
Right.
No matter what was going on, he had faith, knowing that the music is going to hold him and connect him somewhere. He
Yeah.
had no idea where,
Yeah.
but he knew that there was something divine about the musicality within him.
Yeah.
So when, as a composer, when we get a message, it's abstract. No one really knows externally what it is except this abstract thought that comes in. And because you're spiritually in tune with the message, you grab onto it.
Right.
So there must be a trust that
Yeah.
what you receive is from the divine.
Yeah. That there to me is the struggle. Is I believe, and I'm sure a lot of people out there as well, they believe that they will get through it. It's just connecting to it in that moment when you're going through it. How do you do that? How do you stay steadfast in faith when you're feeling just the weight of everything and the process that you have to go through in order to get there? I mean, I am a person that I do love to look past what I'm going through, but sometimes when it keeps piling on and piling on, it's almost as if I'm daring the devil to do it. So I did get even more frustrated because now that light that I saw just keeps getting smaller and smaller. So how do you, Reverend Casey, how do we first, as Nettie said, get connected to God? Because there has to be a way for us to get that connected to whereas our faith becomes unwavering. And also, how can we not allow, what we're going through really affect that belief and that faith?
So I think I'm sorry. It just went out of my head. Your first question was about
The connection,
which is exactly community, right? So there are a lot of people who think and they can worship alone, they can do their Bible study alone, so forth and so on. But growth and maturity happens when friends get together, when you're at church, where you're able to be in a group of people who are trying to learn the same things about their faith. I don't think, we can meditate, we can pray on our own, but there's nothing like going into a community of believers and having that backup. So when you're not feeling your best, when you're not doing your best, you have people who can say, I understand, let's pray. I understand, let's read the Bible together. I understand, let's motivate each other.
Right.
I think the problem comes in general with Christians is that we think we have the right, not to have the right, but we are supposed to be happy all the time. Yeah. We're Christians, so we should be happy all the time.
Yes.
And it's less about the emotion of being happy, but faith is having faith even though you're down. Mm-hmm. Having faith even though you're going through the struggles, emotional struggles or physical struggles. Having faith, and you can do that by being in community with one another to uphold each other. I mean, the Bible was written right?
Right.
For and about communities. So for us to think that it's we can stay in our homes, or you know, and I'm not bashing online preaching and services, because we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah,
But
right.
there's nothing like being in a small group. And you can do that through Zoom and other platforms. If it's a small contained group, you can still share that way.
Right.
But getting together and sharing life, because life is hard. And as I said before, the journey of faith is a lifelong challenge.
Yeah.
It's not, we're not going to get it forever. Yay. It's just not going to happen that way. I had once had a member who I baptized,
Mm-hmm.
and I changed what I said for baptism. And you might have heard this, LeShawn. In baptism, you're not going to come out of the water and float on air with the angels. Because he was clear that afterwards that's what he thought was going to happen.
Wow.
And it's like, no, it's just a beginning. It is a beginning to your journey, and you have to walk out that faith.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it's truly a journey. I did too. I thought once I got saved, I finally, got baptized, because my parents, they didn't want me to do it as a child. They wanted me to wait till I was an adult. When I finally became an adult and I joined this church, and I really felt like that change was already there. It was just me needing to get baptized, and I was going to all of a sudden change into this brand new person, and I wasn't going to do this anymore. I wasn't going to curse anymore. It was just only thing that I just knew was going to happen in my life. And honestly, it got harder. I felt like it got harder because now I'm trying to live up to exactly what I was reading and what I know God promised. And so, yeah, it is. It's definitely a challenge. I know, Mike, that you surround yourself with a lot of people who are like-minded, and you have that sort of support. How do you see, faith being utilized, in your circle?
How do I see faith being utilized?
Yeah, people, are they, because I know that you're sharing the Bible with them. Are they using it? Do they get it? Are they connecting to it?
Yeah, definitely. And kind of as Reverend KC says, when we talk about having happiness, I think that's a common misconception that a lot of people have. And what we have instead is joy. And that's what I see in the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And joy is not the same as happiness. It's an internal peace and a ability to kind of push through things even when things are hard, And I kind of liken it to being a tree. And it's funny when you're talking about when you first came to faith. Yeah, you were all fired up, and then things kind of started to happen, and you started to realize. And it's hard for us in those times. It's a process because we're a newly planted tree, right? And we don't have a lot of roots yet.
Right.
But as you lean into your trust in God, and as you test and know that He will come through for you, your roots grow deep into His soil, and you know that He's got you. But it takes time, and you have to go through those struggles.
Yes.
David went into the wilderness, and we as Christians, we often use the wilderness as an analogy of some of these struggles.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes God puts us in that wilderness because there's something that He wants to teach us that He can't teach us somewhere else. And so even knowing those things and reading the Word and recognizing, hey, look, I'm in a wilderness right now. God has something to teach me here. I'm going to stay here till I get it. Then I can walk out. Those things help. And yeah, like you guys said, the community around you also helps.
Yeah, no, that's very important. It really is. I know, older folks have that type of community because we, for the most part, either grew up in church or at least we know something about it and the Bible and faith and religion. I feel, the younger generation does not have that same support and that same information. I don't think that it was instilled in a large part of the younger generation. And so I don't know if they understand what that word actually means. But Neddy, if we had to teach children, what faith is, not knowing, through a religious, denomination, just by just being and living, how would you teach that or share that?
Again, coming from a musical background, I'm able to envision what that piece of music is going to be like without even knowing what it's going to sound like. I started that thinking about the thoughts within me, what came to me. And those thoughts will have to go through a journey and become manifested so it can be understood from the outside.
Right.
I'll give you a good example. Before I led a music ministry, I had this vision that came to me. No one else knew why I was moving the way I was moving.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell anybody else because it wasn't for them. They would not believe. And that is off the highway of my journey. That journey led me into the basement of a church, not in the main sanctuary, the limelight where everybody was.
Mm-hmm.
I would go there at lunchtime and I would spread eagle. No one was supposed to see me. I would lock the door. The pastors would come in and they would leave and I would still be there.
Wow.
Later on, a lady came and she wanted to put chairs out. There was nobody there. I just got the movement within me that says, okay, this is going to happen now. That's going to happen now. I couldn't tell anybody. So a lady came when things seemed to be looking, and she came and said, I'm going to hand out brochures. I said, you didn't come here to hand out brochures. You came here as a singer. She looked at me and laughed. Because what I saw through faith was her coming in.
Wow.
So when she told me she came to hand out brochures, I said, no, you are a singer. You are the helper that was sent to me.
Wow.
So when we think about teaching others faith, it's a personal experience and journey that one goes on. I can only gather those minds together. Like today, for example, one young man, if you think these people are disabled, we are disabled. We need to be enabled to understand their physicality and look at their possibility.
Right.
This young man said to me, who told you to worry? You know, I was playing this song, Don't Worry About a Thing. And another one by that says, don't worry. What's that guy's name? Don't worry.
Don't worry, be happy. Yes.
And a young man just came out and said, who told you to worry? And I said, you got it. You got it. Society told us to worry about paying the bills, doing the that, doing the this, and doing everything. You see? So if we have that faith, we have to testify to the young people of our own experience.
Yes.
So they can recognize within them their experiences so we can learn together.
Yes. Yes.
Experience to experience.
Yes, I agree. I asked that question because my daughter, I mean, she's a very spiritual person as well, very grounded in it, but I feel that she doesn't truly understand the meaning of that word. And I feel that because she still tries to control everything when she says that she let it go. That could be, her sign, personality trait. I don't know, but I think it's she's obsessed with it, trying to control the little pieces when she sees them out of place. And that's the reason why I really asked that question, because I feel like a lot of the youth have that. They want to believe that it's going to be okay and it's all going to work out, but at the same time they are truly obsessing over what different paths or what do they need to change in order to make it work or for it to get better or whatever the case may be. So I'm glad that you said that. It's something that they really have to find out on their own. You can share your experiences with them, but quite honestly, they have to uncover that journey on their own. So I agree with that. Reverend KC, I mean, the youth that you're working with, do you speak to them, about faith and what that means? Because I know you have the Wanted Project and the Community Healing Center.
Mm-hmm.
What are you sharing?
I'm sorry.
What are you sharing?
So it's the Wanted Project is not faith-based, but of course there's ways of, talking about faith. I mean, we talk about gratitude and what are you grateful for, and we talk about accountability and things like that. I was thinking about when Neddy was speaking, I'm wondering if the person he was speaking to was a Gen Zer. Because he sounds a lot like my 24-year-old who it's interesting. I have a couple of millennial children and a couple of Gen Zers, and the millennial children was that first generation to be insulated, right?
Yeah.
Just they could go to church online forever and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And then the Gen Zers came and they kind of have small groups, but they're still pretty insulated unto themselves as well. And it's hard, but we're going to have to find a way to accommodate them because they just learn. It's like multiple learning, I forgot what you call that, but multiple intelligences.
Right.
We have to tap into those emotional intelligences. And I keep hearing about these Black 26, 27, 30-year-olds. Think of Stitch, who just committed suicide. They're all millennials, and they're used to just being alone and holding themselves in instead of expressing what they feel. Yeah. And so that is the generation that kind of scares me even more than the Gen Zers who talk. Gen Zers can talk you down. They're asking about stuff they're not supposed to know. Yeah. They're asking you about it. So at least they are in community and they're talking it through. You might not understand what they're saying sometimes. They might not agree with you a lot of the times, but at least they're pushing for it and they're emoting and they're telling you what they feel. Yeah. And so I think when you're talking about faith, getting those youth or young people, they're not youth anymore, in community and talking about what are the issues in life. Yeah. And what do you need to live this life without much hurt, harm, and danger coming to yourself and to others around you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought about that as well, that, there's so many young people who are taking their lives because they're not seeing the hope, and that to me is rooted in faith as well, that the belief that it's going to be okay, I'm going to get through it, I seek some help, I ask for assistance. Like, these things are available, but they don't see that, and they don't see just that it is possible. And so I feel that we need to inject a whole generation, Gen Zs, millennials, the XYs, all of them, with the fact that, there things will work out for your good. God will make sure of it. You just have to stand steadfast in your faith.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
Social media, and I don't like talking a lot about social media because, listen, we're on it now. It's working, right?
Yeah.
But at least with the millennials, they grew up in everything comes quickly on the internet.
True.
You can become a star, an influencer, like in 2 seconds.
Yes.
I mean, of course I'm exaggerating, but
no, you're right.
Yeah, right. And when it doesn't come quickly, it's like the end of the world sometimes.
Yes.
And so we have to start thinking about that, as far as this is a long, I keep going back to this because it keeps reinforcing what I'm saying. This is the long, faith is a journey. It is a long haul, step by step, experience by experience. So if we're looking at someone on TV, on the internet, that looks beautiful and she or he is doing everything right, and they're influencers, they're not looking at what's behind the scenes.
Right.
They're forgetting that life is not just perfect.
Exactly.
You said life ain't no crystal stair.
That's right.
It's not
so right. Oh,
but you can still have faith, and have that faith that pushes you forward, even if you feel like you can't go another step.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about you, Mike? In terms of your approach to staying faith-filled, how would you suggest one who is struggling with it? And you may just be talking to me, my friend. How would you suggest someone who is struggling with their faith go about strengthening it? Can you hear me?
I would
okay.
recommend just to, when you're struggling, to reach out to your friends. Casey, I think you kind of talked about this. People have this mistake that they say, "Oh, I'm spiritual, but I don't really need to go into a church. I don't need to do that." And it's good to have a strong relationship with God, but He built us to also have a relationship with Him through other people.
Right.
If you're all about strengthening the vertical, your relationship with God, and you don't strengthen the horizontal where you're relating to other people, I've heard it said that you're kind of like, if you can imagine, an upside down pear with toothpicks stuck in it. If you have someone who's a bodybuilder, right? They build all their body, they're nice and big in the chest, and they got like all that going on, but they don't got any legs, right? So it's an upside down pear with toothpicks jammed in. Well, okay, that's good. You've got your relationship with God, and you're strong in that. But you're a pushover. Somebody can come and just knock you down. You need to have relationships with other people too that can help you through those moments. And as we grow in our faith gets stronger, and we can endure that more.
Yes. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I totally agree with that. I think it is important that, you commune with others, that you share, your journey, what you're going through with others. And it did help me strengthen my faith, because I'm serious. I usually don't share a lot about what's going on personally with me. I'm a good listener. So I'm always, inquisitive and curious and nosy about everyone else's business, but my own, I tend to keep to myself. So the mere fact that I saw that I was sharing what I was going through with anyone who would listen, and for the past 4 or 5 months, literally made it feel so much better. Like I feel like I was able to vent and get it out. And I think I was also able to see that, yeah, it is going to work itself out. It isn't that bad. You will get through this. God does have you. And only because I kept hearing it from other people, it was like a cacophony in my ear every single day of music and love and just encouragement that you're going to get through it. I had to see it. So I agree. I think that it is important that you share with others, because it's not going to do you any good, as you said, if you're just, believing in God, but, you're not showing it and sharing it here on earth. So I want to know, because we have 15 minutes, and I know I want to share everyone's business and what you're doing. Neddy, I want to ask you, can you tell me what faith looks like when you do have it? Because I know that I have this now newfound joy. I don't know if it's because my birthday, I've been celebrating for a month, but I do feel kind of happy. So I'm assuming that it's my faith is just being magnified now. But what does it look like, and what could it look like for the average person, or even for you?
A recent example, I have a young relative that came from Europe who had never read the Bible, had never gone to church, had never really listened to anything about the Word of God or knowing the history of who the Bible is really talking about or where its origin. She had zero. My challenge was not to bring her religion. My challenge was to speak to her, hearing the word. So I had to define the word through Genesis, John 1. In the beginning was the word. There was nothing. I taught my kids geometry, trigonometry from the Bible. You see? And there is so much lesson in there. So I remember when this was like, she just left. She was here for 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So she said to me, when I get home, I'm going to get a Bible.
Nice.
And I'm going to read that Bible. Because the different discussions we had nothing to do with religion. How can I talk to somebody about religion who I'd never heard it? I had no idea about it. They're online. They're doing this. They're typing faster with their thumbs than I can even type with my 10 fingers.
Yes.
No. So the relationship that I had to build was more of an oral relationship. Talking to her and she listened, because it is by that trust came. So first thing, she had to hear, she had to trust, then she had to hear, because they can listen to you and don't hear you, shut you off.
Right.
Yes.
So you can't just, knock somebody over the head with the Bible. It means nothing to them. So I had to develop that trust. So we went out to the beach and we walked, we video shot, and, we took pictures, and that began to break down the barrier that was built up over these years.
Wow.
And let me tell you, the wall was thick.
Wow.
You see? And I remember we were at the dinner table, and in fact, when we had that little production meeting, she was in here with me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she heard, and that conversation continued. So thanks to that pre-production meeting.
That's what I was going to say. Oh, it was supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
Oh, beautiful.
So when that happened, it was the ice now just broke.
Yeah.
And then she was free to come and talk to me. daily, on a daily basis until she left. And the day she was leaving, I'm going to read the Bible. And I gave her Job.
Wow. Yeah.
That's all. Don't
That's
get
amazing.
too deep. Just read it. Just read it.
Yeah. That's the book I'm in actually right now. I started the Bible over last year. You know I'm behind if I'm in Job, but I'm in Job.
Take your time.
Yes, exactly. But I'm telling you, I needed it at this moment. I think that it came I started reading it exactly when I needed it.
Yeah.
And I'm appreciating it now. I've read it 1,000 times. I hear, the quotes from it 1,000 times. But to actually read it with what I'm going through, it's a whole new meaning to it. It has a whole new understanding to it to me now. And that man endured a lot. What am I complaining about? And remained faithful,
Absolutely.
unwavering to his core. Who am I? So I'm just, it's just amazing how all of this is sort of unraveling and playing out. The fact that you had that young lady in the room with you the day that we were discussing it, and me going through this and saying, oh, my first show for the panel should be about faith, which is so broad because we have a whole series that we will be discussing on this very topic. We're just hitting the surface right now.
Yeah.
So Mike, tell me real quick. I mean, what does faith look like to you?
I would say it's something that moves inside of you and changes who you are. As Christians, we are called to be salt and light to the world. And so everybody's in a different place and everybody has different perspectives, but we're all growing by following God. And my prayer is that when somebody comes across any of us and anybody who's a believer, that they say, there's something different about that person. There's a lot of people right now that are struggling through the things that have been happening in the past couple of years, and we have an opportunity to, we don't even have to try necessarily. If we have that joy within us, someone will see that and they'll go, what's up with that person,
Yes.
And then we get to share.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I think I'm that ray of sunshine. I kind of brighten everyone's day. I could be a little down, but you will never know it because I want them to see, my connection, to my faith and to God and my belief. But at the same time, obviously sometimes I am putting on the mask just so that I can get through it as well. Reverend KC, I mean, considering that it is a journey and we need our family and our friends to be involved, in our journey as well, in order for us to remain solid in our faith. What does it look like to you? And tell me, how can we sort of help others who don't know what it looks like, show them what it's supposed to look like Mike just said, you should have that air. You should be that beacon of light and faith. How do we do that?
I think the number one thing is humility. I was in a lecture this morning by Dr. Brian Law, and he said, we were talking about discipleship, and he said the first thing, there's 3 steps in discipleship, and the first one is following, right? So Jesus told his disciples, he just spoke to them for 2 seconds and said, follow me, right? He didn't preach to them for years, and that was a mental thing, and that was humility to find out more.
Yeah.
You have to you want to find out more. Okay, what's this person talking about? And what Mike said was great, because if they see you, they want to know more, right? So I think humility, being able to look at someone else's life and say, hey, I'm interested, instead of, I don't know what's wrong with them, or I got it all together, even though you know you don't.
Right.
And then after you follow, Law said that you begin to be changed after you follow.
Right.
And that's when your heart is involved with faith, right? That's when you know. So coming in, following first requires great humility,
Right.
especially with the younger generations, I think.
Yeah.
So when some people are at that point where they're like, okay, I'm going to follow because I don't know anything else to do.
Right.
And some people just will say, well, I'm interested.
Right.
Tell me more.
Yes.
But then when you get them, the heart is attached. And
Yeah.
that's where the faith can come in.
Yes. Yes.
So,
You're
humility.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think I'm going to have to share that with my daughter today. Thank you so much. That was great. I love that we ended it on that. Humility is what we need also to strengthen our faith and our belief. Well, guys, we have 5 minutes, and I want to get to everything that you guys have going on real quick. So I want to start with Reverend Casey because she also has to leave soon. You have another meeting, I believe, after. So real quick, you can bring that up, Bobby. She has the Restored Life Coach Certification Training Program. Tell us a little about that, real quick.
Sure, coach certificate. This will be my 3rd class of certifying life coaches, and a lot of it is biblically based. So in order to go out and help their communities, find the healing that they need. So I certify coaches so that they then can go out and have clients.
I love it.
And help heal somebody. And you were in my class, my 2nd class, I think.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And it was amazing. I love it. And I'm getting some real good use out of it, my friend. I really am.
Right.
So
Very
I'm
good.
enjoying it. I can't wait, to work with more clients, but it's awesome. Your class is amazing. I love the spiritual journey that you took us on during that class. I learned so much about myself during that training program. And I advise everyone to get involved. And the Wanted Project as well. You are the registration opens when?
It's open now. We start classes for girls on the 13th of March and the boys of March 16th. Those are Thursday evenings. Thank you for reminding me. And then we are having Living Healthy with Long Island's biblical health coach, Dr. Ray Omid, and he's coming in person on March 5th. So please RSVP if you're interested in coming, just so we can have enough snacks for you guys.
I love it, love it. Well, there is Reverend Casey Jones information. She is the founder of Restored Life Group and the Community Healing and Caring Center. Her Instagram, Facebook, are there. It's Restored Life Group is that Gmail? I can't really see from
the top one.com. And
yes, okay, so she has her email, she has her Instagram. Please follow her. She's an amazing woman, truly, truly amazing. And Mike, I see he left. I don't know if he's going to come right back, but he has Modern Peace Ministries, and basically he just wants to teach everyone how to be kind. There is there he goes. Mike, you're back. We were just speaking about Modern Peace Ministries. Real quick, please tell us a little about it. Can you hear us?
Yes. So yeah, you put me on the spot. I just got back. Okay, so when a couple of years ago, I think God called me to this ministry, and as I spoke to a little bit already, I think that God has called us to have deep connections with one another and to be light and salt to the world.
Yes.
And so I'm working now with some friends that are in a local church, and we're learning a lot of different things, but that's where I want to go. Like I say, I want to see the lost saved, the saints equipped, and the culture changed. So that starts with us. And I'm designing a lot of teachings, and I'm learning myself as well. But it's a wonderful thing to see the people that I'm leading and how they are being moved by these things.
I love it. There is Mike's information as well. Please reach out to him. You're on Discord. They're probably going to copy and paste. I don't know how they're going to do that, but please reach out to him and follow him as well. And then, Neddy, we have less than a minute. Please, my friend, tell us a little about you. This is Pokemon. This is
Pokemania. Pokemania.
Yes, please tell us a little about what you have going on real quick, my friend.
Yes, with Star Organization, I deal with the disabled and physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, in fact, I just picked up a new contract for 6 months with a new organization that deals with the elderlies.
Right.
And it's all through music. And that's the power of music is really, I don't call it music therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds too medical.
Yeah.
It's music, words and expressions.
Yes.
Because through music, I want them to say words. Don't really remember words of song. Just say hum or do whatever word comes to mind.
Right.
And also expressions. Let them move whatever they have to move during that entanglement.
Right.
You know, and I say entanglement in a more scientific way, but
right.
You know, that's quantum physics. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I love it.
It's all bringing music to a people that needs to see movements in their words and expressions.
I love it. All right, Neddy, thank you so much for that. There is his information as well. Guys, I want to thank you so much for this candid conversation. We will be back next month, and we will be finishing the series on faith and what it means and how we can get connected to it deeply, madly, and passionately. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And again, I also want to show real quick a little song that Neddy Smith worked on, composed for Your Unity. So I want to literally play us out. So I want to thank you again, Reverend KC, Mike, and Neddy Smith. I also want to thank you, the audience, for joining us tonight on Your Unity. Please remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. Let's go out there and spread some love, give some love, share some love. So we're going to play real quick our song by Neddy Smith, and I want you to have a wonderful evening. And remember, I love you. Have a good night. Say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Here's to be you're our unity. You're our unity. No one is an island. You are my brother, my sister, my friend. A new day is dawning. You're our unity. Wake up from your slumber. Remove the veil from your eyes. Give a helping hand. Let us begin to renew our minds. Remove the veil from your eyes so you can see those lies. Decode your mind and speak the truth. Humanity awaits, awaits, awaits your future. Y.O.U. You're our unity. You're our unity. You're our unity. You're our unity. Dare to believe you're number one. True love defines you. Know yourself, no time for hate. Destiny uncovered you from the day you were born. You're a masterpiece revealed. Remove the veil from your eyes so you can see those lies. Decode your mind and speak the truth. Humanity awaits, awaits, awaits our unity. You're our unity. You're our unity. You're our unity. Believe in yourself, know what's in your heart, own your destiny. No one can deny you. Time waits for no one. Give yourself a chance for life and love. You're our unity.